Hey guys, I am especially excited for today's interview. I have one of my friends, Preston Smiles, on air. You guys have definitely heard of him. And if you guys have not, I want you to head over to Instagram right now. Pull out your phones, because I know you guys are on them, and go check him out on Instagram and give him a follow. It's PrestonsMiles. Give him a follow, go like his stuff, show him some love, send him a message, screenshot us. If you guys found value from this presentation, screenshot us on your Instagram. I'm going to personally guarantee I'm going to reshare it. Preston might as well. I see he loves to reshare stuff as well. So definitely stay in touch, and welcome to the show, Preston.
Ooh, ooh. Let's do this. Vitamin B in the building. B-Town
Yes.
Mafia. Brit gang. Let's do it. I'm pumped.
Me too. We've been Instagram friends for quite a while, so it's I'm super excited to be able to bring not only your wisdom but also your heart-centered energy to these people. I mean, you have made such a splash in the world. I remember when I first started getting involved in personal development, I saw you and your beautiful wife, which your kid is adorable. I totally have baby fever, so I like looking at your Instagram and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so cute. But yeah, so you're so lucky. But I remember you and your wife were walking along a beach, and it was such a powerful video. And I just remember the feeling I had afterwards. I was so deeply, profoundly stricken. So it's an absolute honor to have you here. You know, I'm a big fan, and I'm so excited to be able to bring out that greatness to our audience and change some lives.
100%. Let's freaking do this.
Love it. Love your energy. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah. I mean, the short end of it is, I guess I would be called a personal freedom coach. I've built a 7-figure coaching business practice where I facilitate workshops all over the world with my wife and a company we have called The Bridge, and we do the Bridge Experience. And I also have another arm of my business called Conscious Men Brotherhood, where I support men and do workshops and virtual programs. And now I'm really focusing on helping coaches make more money.
I love that.
And all of that comes from me being, there's a few things. One, I was really deeply wounded as a child. They put me in special education and didn't really know what to do with me because I had a lot of energy. And I'm currently on the tail end of dyslexia, so I don't read as fast as other people. And because of that and a lot of other reasons, because it was the early 90s, they just threw me in a class and made me feel stupid. And that wound, while it was terrible, and it was also awesome and a huge gift, because it's a part of why, one, I'm able to speak to people's listening in a way that they can actually hear me, and I can feel them. I've been to the bottom of the barrel 10 times over, was in a gang, have seen many people die, have been through a lot of experiences, graduated from college with straight A's, master's degree, lived all over the world, you name it. I've kind of been in that space. I happen to be grown and sexy, 39 years young, and had a heart condition at 25. And that heart condition is one of the reasons why I'm in this work, because I was not doing this previous to that. But because I didn't want to die, I began to look at my diet and my stress levels. And a part of my diet was looking at what I was actually believing about myself, about the world, about what was possible. And also my stress levels were deeply off the charts because of some drug issues in my family and things of that nature. And all of it actually created this amazing space we call Preston Smiles. And I just feel super blessed to be able to do this every day. I live an amazing life. I have an awesome wife and an amazing little boy. And yeah, life is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
I love your perspective. I love that perspective. And one of my favorite things is you turned your pain into your purpose.
Indeed.
And I think that so many people, they have battles and struggles, and life is really tough. Like it drives me nuts when you see people on Instagram and they're like, my life is so dandy and roses, and here's my private jet and my 6-pack abs. And I'm like, whoa, like, I don't know what planet you live on, but that is
Yep.
not reality. But so many people, like, everyone deals with challenges. Everyone deals with hardships. And I love how you find this beauty from it, and you draw inspiration from your rock bottom. How do you do that?
Yeah, well, there's a few things. One, I'm really good at taking that 30,000 foot view of things and really just pulling out and understanding what has been called essentially the law of chaos, which essentially states that if you pull far enough back, you'll see the fundamental order to the entire thing. And so for me, whenever something's occurring in my life and in my space, I allow myself to feel it. I allow myself to move into it, to lean into it, while simultaneously understanding that it is the weather and I am the mountain, right? So the weather, if it's raining, I'm present with the rain, knowing that I'm the mountain. If it's sunny, I'm present with the sun, knowing that I'm the mountain.
Mm.
If it's ice cold wind, I'm present with that. And whatever those seasons that come through my life, I remember and allow myself to experience what it means to be perfect, whole, and complete, but not finished. I allow myself to actually look for the face of God in everything.
That's beautiful.
And just the attempt doesn't mean I nail it every single time, but the attempt literally is refocusing and directing my thoughts. And when my thoughts are directed in that way, my words are probably going to be directed in that way. And my words are directed in the way, then my actions are probably going to be directed in that way. And so what happens is we're threefold beings, right? Body, mind, and soul. When all those things are aligned, right? Not that we want to condone R. Kelly's, experiences. However, he was right when he said, my mind is telling me no, but my body, right? A lot of people are not in alignment because their mind is saying one thing, but their energetic body is saying another. And what I tend to do over and over and over again on a moment-to-moment basis is continue to realign all those things.
Wow.
That's the game.
Wow, that is powerful stuff. That is powerful stuff. I hope the listeners turn this up, because that's exactly it. And I'm a big believer in this as well, is your life is made up of your decisions, and your quality of life is made up of the quality of your thoughts. And you choose if you're going to see the glass half full. I mean, it sounds so cliche, but you choose if you're going to be positive, but that's really what it is. It's having that mental fortitude and mental strength to be like, even through these rough times, even through these challenging times, even through these trying times, I'm going to choose to be in alignment with my body and my energy in my mind, and really being in control of how you shape your thoughts. So how does one shape their thoughts? Like, how do you do it?
So no one can control their thoughts. We can direct them. We can redirect the thoughts. And so one of the things I tend to do is ask myself, is there anybody else on the planet wishing that they had this experience? So for instance, I was coaching a guy today because I have probably about 400 students.
Wow.
And I was on a live call, and I have them doing these things that we do called clearing calls, where they clear all the energy and anything that's not serving them. And so he said, I'm going to go reach out to my dad, even though he really hurt me. And I said, bro, I get it. And it's not that you're condoning the behavior of your dad, but you have to ask yourself. And I said, with all these students on the thing, I said, raise your hand if you wish you had one more moment with your dad. Raise your hand. Type yes in the comments if you wish, even if your dad was the biggest asshole in the world, but you knew he loved you because he was doing the best he could from where he could with the consciousness he had available. Type yes or raise your hand if you wish you had one more moment just to see his smile, just to be in his energy. And for me, whenever I'm in a position like that, and this is the part B to how I'm reshaping and redirecting my thoughts. I literally scan for information that says the opposite. So for instance, a lot of people will go through a breakup and they'll go, oh, I'll never find another man, X, Y, and Z, right? Or whatever the case may be, or another woman. And what I'll have them do is scan. Have you ever had this thought before? And in having the thought, was it actually true? Or did you find another man? And now this is the new man that you think you'll never find another man around. Because if that's the case, then you can bypass that whole process and trust in the universe, God, Buddha, Allah, Jesus, Krishna, whatever name is most potent for you. You can trust that the universe has a blessing that is on its way, that it's formulating and moving ahead of you. And your job in the creative process is to say yes, because that's all the universe is always doing. There is no button in this whole process. It's only a yes. And we cannot have what we want, but we may experience what we have. I'm going to say that again so that lands. We can't have what we want, but we may experience what we have.
Wow, that's powerful.
And that, so if I'm experiencing gratitude, if I'm experiencing, let's say, sadness, but not sadness from, oh, I'm ugly, I messed this up, I'll never get more business, I'll never X, Y, and Z, I'll never have as many followers as Gary Vee, X, Y, and Z. That's a completely different frequency than sadness from, wow, I really, really made a mistake an hour ago, and that doesn't really feel good. However, I'm really grateful that I'm still alive and have another chance to get back on the horse. Well, that frequency is creative. Both of them are. One of them doesn't serve us and the other one does.
Yeah, that is so powerful, Preston. You're a genius. I know that you know this. Like, I know you know it in your core, but wow, like when you speak, it's hypnotic. It's so true. Like the depth of your understanding for humanity is absolutely mind-blowing. And I'm so honored that you're here to share this with my audience. What and how do people overcome these fears and excuses and insecurities and self-sabotaging nature and analysis paralysis that holds so many people back? I think that's really the winning question. I mean, we both are coaches in our own rights, and we deal with so many different people with so many diverse different challenges and gifts and just the beauty and the dynamic aspects of life. And I think that those are really the biggest things that hold people back is fears, excuses, analysis paralysis, self-sabotage, and overthinking. How do you get over that?
That's a loaded question. I'll say this. One of the things that I remind myself and my clients all the time, and it's a mantra that I use all the time, especially when something's coming up that's I've deemed big. I repeat over and over again that it's not about me, because oftentimes what keeps people on the sidelines getting ready to get ready, what keeps people on the sidelines paralyzed, afraid to make a decision, is the idea or the thought that they will be judged by that thing. And Brittany, as fun and amazing as this is, and this is still fun and amazing, since we've been on this podcast, probably 100,000 people have committed suicide. Like since we've been talking. And so to me, this is a sobering reminder every day.
Oh, gave me goosebumps.
That what I came here to be, do, and have, only I can give. Right? There's medicine on Brittany's heart, and there's medicine on Preston's heart, and there's medicine on each person's heart that only we can administer to the people who can hear it. Some people right now can't hear my medicine, but they can hear yours. Some people right now can't hear either one of our medicine, but they can hear the person who's listening to this podcast. And so our job in the process is to give our gifts, knowing that it's not about us, that there really is only one of us here. And the more that we give, the more we receive. And it's the law of circulation. You know, Shakespeare said it in Romeo and Juliet when Juliet said, "My bounty is as boundless as the sea, my love as deep. The more I give to thee, the more I have, for both are infinite." What she was talking about was the universal law of circulation. The more she gave it, the more she received it, and both were infinite. And so our job in this whole process is just keep giving, keep saying yes, keep giving. Why? Because people need it. 100,000 people have potentially committed suicide. Millions are committing slow suicides. Millions are clocking in on jobs they hate. Millions are believing that they're not pretty enough, tall enough, smart enough, that they don't have enough money, that they didn't, get this many followers or this many likes. Millions are playing this game that is 100% empty. And so our job as coaches, as facilitators, as influencers is to be leading people back to their hearts, back to the truth.
Oh my gosh. Whoa. I just had like goosebumps for like 2 minutes straight. Wow. That is deep, Preston. And I totally agree with you. And I think the reason why that impacted me so greatly is because I get it. Like, I think that one of the reasons why we're so passionate about what we do is as coaches and healing people and helping people is because we really understand that people need us. And the reason why I'm sharing this with the audience as well is because there's so many coaches and entrepreneurs that are listening to this, and the world needs you. Mm-hmm. Like the world needs the best version of Preston Smiles to show up. The world needs the best version of Brittany Michaelchuk to show up and step into that leadership position. The world needs the best version of you, because people are slowly committing mental suicide and living lives of emptiness. And this is why I'm so passionate about what you just said, to empower people to step into their power and be able to help positively impact the world. And it's because people say the coaching business is saturated. And what you just said is so true. What's more saturated are people that need coaches. What's more saturated is humans not loving themselves, not being kind to themselves. What's more saturated is people that don't like their existence or are stuck in negative, toxic environments of their own mind.
Yep, real talk.
And so and that's why we need more coaches, and we need more individuals that work on themselves, do the inner work, sign up for your program, sign up for what, is going to help them achieve better results in their life, because you can only help lead people to the capacity that you have reached.
Real talk.
And so you need to do this inner work, listen to these podcasts. You have a book out, like read the books, because you are not only going to be helping yourself, but you're going to be helping all the people around you that need it.
Yep. Real talk. Absolutely. There are 7.7 billion people on this planet. There's not enough coaches yet. Not even close.
No. More people need to do this work, not only for other people, but for themselves. And so why is the inner work important? Why is personal development important? Why is working on your mindset one of the most important things that you can do?
I mean, here's the thing. It's a tricky thing. And so my wife and I have coined the term emergent wisdom. Because the wisdom comes from within. A lot of times, and I've said this many times, and I've hashtagged it, personal development is developing the persona, which is not necessarily the direction we want to go in. The direction we want to go in is expanding the identity and being able to look at, with a bird's eye view, what we've been believing about ourselves.
Yeah.
That's important because a happier, healthier society is needed right now. Like we have issues like the global warming, freaking, mass shootings. Like you name it, it's going down in the world right now. And
It is.
all of it, in my opinion, is because so many of us have forgotten that there's a part of us that has never been hurt, harmed, or endangered. That there's a part of each and every one of us that is still pure and only knows love. And we have in our science, for instance, there's something called mirror neurons, right? And so our mirror neurons fire off, like let's say we see a car accident or we see somebody break their leg. There's a part of us that feels that pain, because the reality is that we all come from the same source.
Yeah.
And we've just forgotten. And so the job of each of us, our job is to clean up our own doorstep until the whole world is clean. Our job is to clean up our own consciousness and legitimately look into the spaces and places where we're still hiding, where we're still judging, where we still believe that we are better than, where we're still playing the game called, if I get enough of this, then I'll be good enough.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Yes. That is so true. It's like, why is it that people are just never good enough? I think that this is one of the biggest challenges that plagues society.
Yep.
And I think and I know the reason why is because of social media. I know that people go online and we live in, like, our parents didn't wake up and check their cell phone and look at highlight reels. Like they didn't. Like, actually to understand this concept is so important. So please listeners, please, I hope this lands the way that I mean it to, is our grandparents didn't wake up and spend the entire day looking at curated content.
Yeah.
We now live in a day of age where we are compared to unrealistic bodies. We are compared to unrealistic relationships.
Yeah.
You know, when back in the day, our grandparents, I mean, all their friends kind of complained about like their significant others and the troubles in their marriage and all this stuff. But now it's like, we don't see that. It's like everybody wants to be this perfect 10 out of 10 life for social media. And guys, I'm obviously big on social media. I'm passionate about using it to positively impact the world. But my point is that we just have so much pressure on us to perform and do all this stuff and have this perfect body, perfect relationship, perfect lifestyle, perfect friends, perfect tribe, perfect bank account, perfect car. And my point is that so many people are just losing touch of loving themselves. You know, and they're not confident anymore. And they're never good enough for themselves. They're never good enough for their family and their peers. And so what is your perception on that?
Yeah. I mean, it's
and how do you overcome it? Like, how do you start to love yourself again?
So this is the thing. And I was explaining this, for years, I've had a lot of money, but through some wounds of watching some of my family members just spend it on stupid stuff, I've been that person who's just held on to it, right? Yeah. And so last year, was that last year? No, that was this year. Very beginning of the year, I decided to get this Tesla, right? So Model S, like sexy night rider, I call it. It's freaking, it's a sexy ass car, right?
You've worked hard. You deserve it.
I have. So it's the first thing I've ever bought for myself that's expensive, right? I don't even own a home. And I got the car and I instantly started helping people understand how I was viewing the car. And this is, I think, really important. The Tesla is no different than the Ninja Turtle that I had when I was 12.
Yeah.
Or the Barbie that you played with when you were 9.
It's all perception.
Or all of it will be trash is the real conversation. None of it we get to take with us. All of it is just stuff. And so I think where the disconnect in our society is we've started to identify with the stuff. We think that the stuff matters when it really doesn't. And so for me, how I beat this whole game is I enjoy this stuff. I enjoy the materials, but I don't let the materials become my God. And how I do that is I continuously remind myself that this is just like the bike that you loved that is somebody else has now, or is in a, like, where is it? I don't know.
Wow.
Um,
You take the power back, Preston.
yeah, it's just a thing. It'll be fine.
You're awesome. Yeah, it's just the thing. That's amazing because so many people can't do that. They allow other people
Mm-hmm.
and other things have this control
Mm-hmm.
over themselves and this power over themselves. And I love how easily you take back that control
Mm-hmm.
and put yourself in the driver's seat and ground yourself through that perspective shift. And yeah, I completely agree with you. I made a post on my Instagram story yesterday, which by the way, I know you guys all should be adding me on social media. I think you guys all have me. If you don't, add me on Instagram at Brittany Michalchuk, BrittanyMichalchuk. And make sure you go add Preston at PrestonsMiles and show him some love, you guys. He is out there making a massive positive impact in the world. And we need to support these leaders. I mean, so many people look up to these crazy figures like Kim Kardashian and Cardi B and all these absolutely absurd personas that are promoting. I mean, nothing against those two individually, but I mean, just people that aren't promoting this heart-centered work. And it's so important that we really stay true to what's important and value the important things. But what I was going to say is that, yeah, it's like, it's nature, I find, that ground me and reminds me what's truly important in life, because we live in such a fast-paced day of age where we can just get lost in the stuff. And we can get lost in the stress, and we can get lost in the minutia of everything. And how do you stay stress-free? Like, how do you always stay so positive? And it's just like you have this energy to you, Preston, where you just flow with life. And it's like you don't resist things. I see all these people and I get goosebumps again. But I see all these people and it's like they're just resisting life and always in turmoil and chaos and fighting, or they're fighting themselves, or again they have these own battles against themselves, and you just come in and you're just like this like ray of sunshine. Like, how do you do it? How are you so I think alignment is the word I'm looking for, but how are you so in alignment and grounded in who you are and where you're going, and just with the energy that you're co-creating?
There's a few things, but I think the most important one that I think that would help the most people on this podcast would be, and I do this every day, is I schedule it in. I schedule, it's in my schedule, it's in my calendar to have time to do things that light my soul on fire. Oh, so that's every day.
Makes me happy.
That's not even every month. That's every day. Yeah. So every day I take a little bit of time. You know, I know we live in this fast-paced sort of low-touch society, but literally, when you and I were messaging earlier, I was out on a hammock in the sun. So like for me, one of the best ways to beat all of this is just to make sure you take a little bit of time for you, a little bit of time for stillness, a little bit of time to sit and reflect and be. And nature is one of the best places to do that. For me, surfing is one of my favorite things. Dancing, I'll be going to Burning Man again for the 9th year in a row.
I love seeing your pictures from Burning Man. You and your wife have the best costumes ever.
Appreciate it. What's funny is none of it's a costume. It's actually stuff that we already have in our closets. So we're just crazy.
That's amazing.
But yeah, just making sure that you schedule in, especially play. Like I think it was 2016, I made my whole year about that. And I remember my wife got mad at me. A few people did. They're like, wait, you're going to take a break to skateboard? Like we're in the middle of a launch. And I'd be like, yes, I'm going to go skateboard. I'll be back in 30 minutes. And that year, I think I went from, what was it? It was like 300K to 600K. Like a gigantic jump. Like, wow. Boom, right? But it was because I was so in alignment and so happy because I was taking time for myself. And so success leaves clues. Success is sequential, not necessarily simultaneous in the sense that it happens overnight, but it's simultaneous in that every day, every moment, every minute that you take for you is actually an investment back into your
Yes.
business, back into the world, back into the planet.
Do you want to know why why I know you doubled your income?
Mm-hmm. Why?
People are buying you in coaching. This is very important for coaches and thought leaders. Is when you're a coach, people are buying you.
Mm-hmm.
They're not buying your techniques. They're not buying what you think. They're not buying your phone call. They're not buying your time. People think they're buying all the features, not the bonuses.
Yeah.
They're buying you. And when you became in more alignment, when you became more joyful, and when you really focused on what was really important, it showed up in your world as an energy shift.
Mm-hmm.
And that energy shift is what people want. Like one of the reasons why people are so drawn to you, Preston, I mean, I see it whenever your name comes up in this space, people are just like, they think the world of you. You have such a good reputation in this industry. I've never ever heard one person say a single bad thing about you. And one of the reasons why I think that you've experienced so much success is because you are a living example of what people want to become. And I mean that in the most humble way possible, is that you when you work on yourself and you become the best version of yourself and you are able to lead by example,
yes,
people are going to want to follow you. And that's what leadership is. That's what this space is being a leader, standing for something in integrity. And so you just really stepped into your power in a big way. And I just commend you for that and thank you, because the world needs more leaders. I mean, the world needs more of this work, and the world needs not only you to step into your power, but especially the listeners as well. Because I say this a lot, and I just post this on my Instagram stories. My Instagram stories are where all the juice is, where all the good stuff is. And I said that there's no difference between you and your idols. True. Except they've been doing it longer than you have. Mm-hmm. And they've worked very hard and very smart for a long period of time. So they have that consistency under their belt. And so it just goes to show that people can create a life that you've created. Yeah. And you're just a living example of that. And I just want to say thank you, because it gives people hope. It gives people reassurance, and it's truly making the world a better place. And I think that's why you're here. And you talked about your heart condition. And I've never admitted this on any platform whatsoever, but I actually was dealing with some, what I thought were health issues as well. And I went dark on social media for a couple months, and everyone's like, what happened to you? And I was like, I'm just not motivated, you guys. Like I'm literally just trying to stay afloat. We figured out it was low electrolytes. Like I literally thought I was dying, and here it is, low electrolytes, and I'm totally fine. Yep. I'm back to myself. But my point is that it was real for me. Like I actually thought I was going to die. Like I didn't know what was wrong with me. Yep. And it was an absolutely terrifying experience. And I think that's why you have so much humility, is because you've almost been to the other side. Mm-hmm. And you understand what's truly important in life. So what is that like for you? Like what has hitting your rock bottom been able to do for you to shape your perspective into where you are right now?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of hit on it. It's just one of those things where, knowing that we only get one shot in these skin suits. Yeah. That we won't actually get like yesterday back, like even this moment, like it just passed, is a reminder for me to give and be as present as possible with whatever is here. Yeah. I think that one of the reasons why a lot of people are and experience pretty deep depressions and anxiety is because they're avoiding. They're trying to avoid. They're trying to get high on good all the time,
or get high on drugs and alcohol and escape.
Yes, but even that is the idea of good. So if I get really drunk, I'll feel good. But well, what am I trying to avoid in that process? I'm trying to avoid the stuff where, I'm making this up. I was molested by my uncle or cousin. I'm trying to avoid
Yeah.
being raped in college. I'm trying to avoid the thing, my mom having me get on diet pills when I was 10. I'm trying to avoid all of those things are the things that actually hold the key to our own personal freedom, which is why I call myself a personal freedom coach, because for me, that's the thing that matters more than everything else.
Yeah.
As you saw, when somebody gets sick or something goes down, social media goes right out the fucking window. And the only thing that matters is the people who loved you and who will be there by your side. And so for me, I've been there enough. I've seen enough people. I've watched enough people come and go. And I don't want to die with my music still in me. I don't want to die with that still in here. So, I just dance and sing and play and give my gifts every day, such that my son and his daughter and their daughter has a new experience of what it means to be a conscious man, what it means to be a conscious being on our planet. So,
Wow.
Yeah.
That like almost made me cry because it's so real and raw and authentic, which is something you're so graceful at is letting down those guards and just being yourself. And I think that's definitely one of the most important things is just being able to let down your guards and be authentic. So as we wrap up this interview, I just wanted to ask you a little bit about social media. I love your content online, and it's so powerful. How have you been able to grow to this massive brand online and be able to communicate your message powerfully through Instagram?
Yeah. It's an interesting thing because initially it was all organic, probably for 5 years, all organic. And it got up to probably about 10, 12, 15,000, somewhere around there. And it was only people, word of mouth. My people just kept bringing me people. And then there was a point where I was like, oh, let me try this other thing where essentially I would, be a part of these campaigns or whatever. And then that didn't feel good. And so then I went back to organic and I started running a few ads and really it's all of the above. The thing that matters more than anything. And I'm back at the organic space. I'm back at, I'd rather have less followers and have it just be people who are like, yo, I want to be here because I really mess with you. But I think what matters more than all of that, because people think it's about numbers. It's actually about, because we've all heard the 1,000 true fans, right? Nobody's really allowing that to really land. That if you have 1,000 people, just 1,000 people who actually truly see you and love your stuff, you can make a whole career out of that. And so for me, I focus on loving on the people who are already here and knowing that those people eventually, a lot of times, just tell their friends and family. And it's been beautiful. It's an interesting ride. I love social media. I used to be a graffiti artist, and now I just do it on the internet about love and about connection. Yeah.
And you've mastered the spoken word, so that's amazing. Well, thank you so much, Preston. I appreciate you and I appreciate your time. And please, if you ever need anything, I'm always here to support you and your amazing family. And I'm so proud that I'm able to watch people like you really just be unapologetically you, because it gives people the space to be inspired and empowered to do the same. So thank you for your service for humanity. What is it that people can do to learn more about you, or to what are you selling? I feel like I want to know what you're buying because I'm in. Like, I want it. Tell me, what are you doing?
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff. Right now, I'm focusing on supporting coaches. I also have our workshops coming up in October in LA. So bridgeexperience.com or prestonsmiles.com. You can find everything there, or just at Preston Smiles on Instagram. You'll find something. But coaches, and workshops. That's my world right now.
Cool. I love that. So they can find you on Instagram
Yep.
at Preston Smiles. And you guys go check out what he's doing. PrestonsMiles. Thank you so much, Preston. You are just really doing an amazing job stepping into your greatness. So thank you for that.
Thank you so much. Love you.